Have you ever had a crush on a teacher or a coworker? Who was your song Strangers about? Have you ever farted during... Here we go. Okay. Alright, what's up you guys? We're back. We're doing this again. You guys loved part 1. So there's still a bunch of questions from the last time I asked you guys, so I'm just gonna go through them. Okay, let me grab my phone. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into this. Yeah. Okay. Take a shot every time I say okay. Okay. Have you ever turned down a brand because you didn't like their products? Yes. Not necessarily because I didn't like their products, but just because, well, yes, there's been instances where like I didn't like the product, but also it's mainly because like the product just doesn't make sense for me. Like I wouldn't be promoting, you know, stuff that like I wouldn't ever actually use. I can't tell you how many times during the week like I'll get like asked from a company to like promote like a hair curler or like even like a hair straightener, which is fine, but I haven't straightened my hair in over 2 years at this point, so I'm not gonna promote a hair straightener because I'm not gonna be able to use it to show you guys or to like give an accurate, you know. I get a lot of emails from companies asking me to promote their vibrators. That's fine, but like I don't feel like that's like, you know what I mean? When was the last time you wet the bed? No barking. Hello? Hello? I think Crawford butt dialed me, so he's just like...
Oh, what the hell?
Love you.
I forgot I called you. I'm on the way.
Okay, I love you. Okay, back. Okay, so last time I wet the bed, I was a teenager. First of all, I drank way too much water before bed that night, I remember. I had a dream that I was peeing in my dream, right? So like I was on the toilet in my dream, peeing. And so I peed in real life because I was peeing in my dream. And I remember waking up from it and I was like, comment down below if you've ever had a similar situation. But yeah, it's not like I like just peed the bed. I was dreaming that I was on the toilet. Most embarrassing thing you've done drunk? I don't know. I'm not one to like get all crazy, you know. I have DM'd a guy before drunk and I like somewhat remembered it. Like when I woke up, it felt like I had dreamt it. And then I went through my DMs and I was like, have you ever had a crush on a teacher or a coworker? Teacher, I can't think of one. But coworker? I don't know if I want to answer this because I don't know if he'll see this. I had a crush on a coworker when I worked at PacSun. Oh my gosh, I feel like someone is gonna see this and put 2 and 2 together. Like, I'm not gonna say what PacSun I was working at the time, but yeah, he was, I don't even want to say what position it was, but he was a manager. He wasn't our main manager, he was like an assistant manager. And he was like new. I had already been there for like forever. Yeah, and I had the biggest crush on him, like because we got along, like we could tell that like we would be like good friends. Like we got along very well. We had so much in common. I never told him. We were definitely flirty, but like we never crossed that line. But I do remember that I would check the schedule. I would check the schedule to see when he was closing some nights, like on my nights off. And I would just so happen to be shopping in the mall that night. And I remember there was this one specific night. Someone didn't show up to work, so he was short a staff member and they were closing and needed help. So I literally went in there and worked off the clock, which is illegal. But I went in there and helped him close and I helped him fold clothes so that he could close on time. And then that night, I remember that I helped him close. He was like, I owe you food. And he was like, let's go to In-N-Out. And so we went to In-N-Out and he was actually the one to teach me about like, you can get chopped chilies like in your burger. And I never knew that my whole life. And yeah, so he's the one that introduced me to that, and ever since then I always get chopped chilies in my In-N-Out burgers. I have no idea where he is now. I don't know if he even still has an Instagram. Like, I know nothing. I have not kept up with him. Like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him since. So wow, I'm just giving you guys all the tea. Have you ever farted during... The short answer is yes, but hold on, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So if you guys have ever farted during the deed and feel weird about it, just know you're not alone. It's only happened to me once that I can remember. It wasn't with Crawford. It was a very long time ago. And yeah, who was your song Strangers about? I don't think I've ever really talked about like how that song came about. Strangers is about someone, and he knows because I sent him the song the day that we wrote it. Strangers is about a guy that I had fallen in love with. We had been crushing on each other for years at this point. We just never had like, it was always like wrong timing. Like, he was always in a relationship when I was single and vice versa. And then finally we had our time. We talked for like a few months and then we became official, but that only lasted like a week because I've never talked about this, because we basically like had very different views on something, and I'm not in the game of like wasting anyone's time, and neither is he. So like we both understood that like it just wasn't meant to be. Like he wanted different things, I wanted different things, and at the end of the day, like, it wasn't gonna work. Now I'm not gonna say his name just because I don't want anyone to go like stalking or whatever, but like, it's not about Crawford, it's not about my ex of 6 years, it's not about anyone in the friend group. Also before Crawford, like, my love life was very private, so like I've had, you know, situations here and there that I've never been public about. Yeah, okay. Jeez, okay. Were you hesitant to date Croft because of your friendship possibly being affected? Yes, I mean, that was one of like the main things with us. Like, for that reason, we like, before we did anything, like we had our first kiss, but like before we did like, before we like did anything, like we waited months to do like, we wanted to make sure that what we were feeling was real and that it wasn't just because we were extremely vulnerable, obviously, at that time. And, you know, we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just because like we were grieving together. So yeah, but it worked out. And I love him. I love him so much. Would you rather have nipples as eyes or eyes as nipples? Maybe eyes as nipples? That's so weird. I don't know how to answer that. Would you want babies? I do want babies. I don't know how many I want anymore, but I do want to have kids. Have you ever had a pregnancy scare? I have, not with Crawford. It was with my ex of 6 years, and it was so scary. Turns out I was just stressed out of my mind. And that's why my period was that late, but it was like extremely late. Like, I've never had that happen again. It was quite scary. We literally like talked about all our options and how we were gonna handle it if I was. And he was really great about the whole thing, but we ended up like worrying for no reason because my period came. Most awkward interaction you've had with a guy? I've had like weird things happen to me over the years, obviously, but awkward? There was one time that I matched with a guy on an app. Franny and I were like traveling at this point. We went out that night, and the universe is weird. Like, I've had weird situations where I'm like, the world is too small, but we were in a whole nother country and this happened. But I matched with him, and then we went to a party and he was there. And we had just matched the night before, but he was with another girl. So like, we definitely saw each other, and like, you know, but then we could have been like, hey, you know, because he had a whole nother date there. So yeah, that was really awkward because you could tell that like we definitely wanted to like say something to each other, but like out of respect, like we would just like stay at completely opposite ends of the room. So that's that. Let me know if you guys would like a part 3 to this. I feel like we're running out of questions. I don't know what else we could talk about, but I'm sure there's something. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed it, comment down below any other videos you guys want to see. Also, really quick, I started a book channel, you guys, that I'm so excited about. It's called NEZZ's Nook. I will have everything down below. So if you guys are also reborn bookworms, come through. I'll be recommending a lot of books. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the family, and I love ya. We're doing great. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.